Look at this. I think this is our biggest opening moment in this conference in like forever. So thank you all for being here. You know, this is the official kickoff of the 2015 Mackinac Policy Conference, the 35th conference that we've had. But we've been rocking and rolling for already a day. We had an amazing kickoff dinner yesterday. How many of you were there? 800 people for dinner in a barn. Not bad. This morning, we had a great session hosted by KPMG focused on mobility, and we've already made some news announcing the Michigan Mobility Initiative. The Skillman Foundation did a great session.
We are working hard.
So we have an amazing program for you today between now and early Friday. So thank you all for being here. We're thrilled to have your longtime support and friendship. It means so much to all of us that all of you take time out of your incredibly busy schedules as leaders to come here and share your time with fellow leaders here at the Mackinac Policy Conference. And all of this wouldn't be possible without our amazing sponsors. As you can tell, this is not a cheap operation to put on. And I really want to thank our sponsors. And first, I've got to thank our diamond sponsor, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Thank you, Dan Lepp. Thank you, Tricia Keith. They have been longtime partners of the Chamber and longtime supporters of this conference. We couldn't do it without Blue Cross, so thank you. A big round of applause for our diamond sponsor, Blue Cross Blue Shield. And we have an amazing list of platinum level sponsors, sponsors that have really stepped up in a really significant way to frankly write the big checks that are necessary to make all of this happen. Longtime sponsor AT&T of Michigan, thank you so much for your longtime support for this conference and all the telecommunication services that AT&T provides. The reason you can talk to the outside world here on the island is thanks to AT&T. Consumers Energy, fantastic partner. All the kids that you saw on the lobby with their first robotics teams, that's because Consumers Energy made that happen along with Dean Kamen, one of our keynote speakers. We're so grateful to Consumers Energy for everything they do, and it really shows the East-West partnership that we're building here in Michigan. So thank you to Consumers Energy. Conway McKinsey. What an amazing operation that helped turn around the city of Detroit. They're so committed to the city of Detroit, and we appreciate their sponsorship and support for the Mackinac Policy Conference. Huntington Bank, our dear friend Jim Dunlap, and our late dear friend Mike Feasy. Thank you so much, Huntington Bank, for your partnership. Again, another great East-West partnership that we're building here in Michigan. ITC Holdings and Joe Welch and the team at ITC. Joe was the former chair of this conference just a handful of years ago. Appreciate, Joe, your continued support for the Chamber and for this conference and your support for the Mackinac Policy Conference. MLive Media Group, another platinum sponsor who brought you the great app that hopefully you all are using, one of our great media partners, and helps us with technology so much. PNC Bank. Rick DeVore and the gang at PNC Bank, leaders in education reform through their foundation, and has really driven the education reform agenda right here at the Mackinac Policy Conference, and we thank our friends at PNC so very much. And Pure Michigan and the MEDC. Steve Arwood, thank you so much. We love our partnership with the MEDC. We appreciate the leadership they provide. And Pure Michigan, one of the best ad campaigns for a state in history. And we're so proud of the Pure Michigan campaign. And of course, we couldn't be a legitimate Detroit-based organization if we didn't have the support of our friends Dan Gilbert and Matt Cullen and the friends at Opportunity Detroit and Quicken Loans. Thank you so much for everything that you do back home in Detroit and here on the island. And of course, the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, LaJune Montgomery, has added great content that you're going to see throughout this program. A round of applause for all of our fantastic sponsors. Thank you so very much. Now, obviously, we have a lot of great sponsors who have helped us write checks, and many that I don't have time to mention today, but you'll see them throughout the conference. But the reason there are so many people in this room right now, and so many of you who arrived yesterday, arrived early, and have been participating, is because of the quality of the programming. And frankly, I'm going to pat ourselves on the back. We're really proud of that. But it's not me, it's not us at the Chamber. It is, first of all, a statewide CEO committee that helps provide the shape, the vision, and the pillars of this conference. And I want to thank the CEOs from all across the state that gather and help provide input into this conference. We also have a program committee that helps really curate each of the panels that you will see to make sure that the panels are hitting on the right notes and we have a right level of diversity in terms of the voices and the opinions expressed, so you're not just hearing one side of any issue. And I really want to thank the governor. Governor Snyder has been an amazing partner and friend to this conference. And he is intimately involved in the planning of this conference, and he is so engaged and so accessible during this conference. We really appreciate his leadership and his time. And of course, our conference chair, Mark Davidoff, the managing partner of Deloitte LLP, for all the leaders who helped shape the conference that you're just about to experience, because it really is outstanding. And the conference app that I mentioned. Now, at last count, there are 1,600 of you plus registered for this conference. It's just about a record. We can't take any more. The island will sink. But apparently, only about 1,400 of you have downloaded the app. So I don't know who the 200 of you who haven't done that yet, but we're going to find you. Now, you need to download the app, and here's why. As you know, we move pretty quickly on this stage. We don't do introductions, we move people on and off. So if you want to know someone's bio, you're not going to hear it in an introduction. It's in the app. If you want to know if there's been changes, and there've already been changes because of rain, we've had to change rooms, or a last minute change to a lineup, that'll be in the app. If you want to know who's sitting around you, it's in the app because the attendee list is there. If you want to send a message to someone who is attending the conference, you can do that through the app. And you can also link your social media accounts through the app. And we want you to do that because we want you to talk about what's happening here at the Grand Hotel. We want this, and this is more than just a confab of 1,600 plus Michigan leaders. This is a conversation we want to share with the rest of the state, because this is about not thus all of us in the room, it's about the entire state. So tweet using your Twitter account, using the hashtag MPC15, which is the official hashtag of the conference. And I also want to applaud and acknowledge Detroit Public Television, which is providing essentially gavel-to-gavel coverage for all of the sessions here at the conference, available to everyone, including to all the live streaming that we do through all the various websites. We have over 120 media, national and state, registered for this conference. We want you to talk about this conference and take it beyond the Grand Hotel, because we're really proud that this isn't just a confab, this is a to-do event. And for the 5th year in a row, on Friday, myself, the chair, Mark Davidoff, and the governor will stand right here and give you a to-do list of tangible actions that we will hold ourselves accountable for the discussions that take place on this stage. And we've been doing this for 5 years now, and I look back on some of the things that have been on our to-do list in years past, and they are now reality. The new international trade crossing, now the Gordie Howe Bridge, was on our to-do list. The repeal of the personal property tax was on our to-do list. The change in Michigan's tax structure was on our to-do list. Lessons learned trips to Washington, D.C., Pittsburgh, and New Orleans were on our to-do list. The creation of an entrepreneurial support program called StartGrid was on our to-do list. All of these things were on our to-do list, and Thursday morning, the Chamber's chair, Hank Cooney, will stand here and deliver the report card for the 2014 to-do list, and you can judge for yourself with a written report if we have actually indeed held ourselves accountable. And I don't know of any other event in the nation that regularly holds itself accountable the same way we hold ourselves accountable at the Mackinac Policy Conference for actually doing what we talk about. Because being results-oriented is more than a catchphrase for us. It's how we want to do business. So look for Hank's report tomorrow morning. Now, there's several new things this year. One is that you're going to see a lot more young people as part of this conference than you've ever seen in the past. And we're really excited about this. You just heard the Detroit Symphony Civic Jazz Ensemble perform in the lobby, some of Michigan's greatest young, talented musicians. And I want to thank Mark Davidoff, who also sits on the Detroit Symphony Orchestra Board, for making their presence here possible. And they'll be performing again later on in the day, so if you missed them, you still have a chance to see them. And also, the Michigan First Robotics teams. Where are you guys? You're back in the corner there? There you are. Woo! The three top Michigan First Robotics teams are obviously here, and more importantly, they're here with their great technology, showing off their incredible work and their incredible technology, and their robots are in various places here. And I want to thank Consumers Energy and Dean Kamen, one of our keynote speakers, for making their presence here possible. And I also want to welcome the Harvard Business School Young American Leadership Program's young emerging leaders who have been hand-selected by Harvard Business School to represent the city of Detroit to be with 10 other cities across the nation later on this spring at Harvard's campus. And I want to welcome them here today. So please welcome all of our young emerging leaders. So I also want to invite you all to register for our PAC reception. That'll be Thursday at 5:15. Now think back a year ago. A year ago at this conference, the Grand Bargain was exactly halfway done. And there was a big question mark going into the conference on Wednesday of last year if the Grand Bargain was going to get done. By the time Friday rolled around, we all knew it was going to be a done deal. The momentum had built, and this conference and all of you played a huge part in that success. So our PAC reception, separate ticket required, but well worth the check, and I promise it goes to a very good cause, is focused on the relationship between the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan 1 year after the Grand Bargain. And I'm very pleased that House Speaker Kevin Cotter, City Council President Brenda Jones, Detroit's Chief Government Affairs Officer Lisa Howes, and Arlen Meekoff, the Senate Majority Leader, have agreed to participate in a really great discussion. So please join us at the PAC reception on Thursday at 5:15. But that's far from the only time we're going to examine urban issues and economic opportunity. The Grand Bargain will also be on the agenda first thing tomorrow morning. We have, for the first time, all of the key architects of the Grand Bargain in an all-star lineup kicking off our program tomorrow morning. Rip Rapson, Miriam Nolan, Judge Rosen, Judge Rhodes, Kevin Orr, and the Ford Foundation's Darren Walker, all on the same stage, looking at the Grand Bargain, its story, and more importantly, where to from here. What do the architects of the Grand Bargain think we need to do next? It's going to be fascinating. We want you to be there. Also, we're going to have a great series of discussions on urban issues. It's not just one session, it's multiple sessions. Across the planet, we are seeing a global flight to cities. All across the planet, more and more people are moving into cities, urban areas. For Michigan to compete and win in the global 21st century marketplace, our cities of all sizes, of all shapes, and all kinds across the state need to be attractive, dynamic places to a wide variety of people. Think of this. There are 20 megacities across the planet. 20 megacities with 20 million people or more. There are 400 cities with over 1 million people. Not a single Michigan city cracks the top 400 in terms of size. So if there's a global flight to cities and we don't crack the top 400, we've got to make it up in quality. That means our urban areas really need to be places of opportunity that are dynamic, that are attractive. So we're going to do several sessions on the state of urban America at this conference because it's important to all of us who want the state to win. No matter if you live in a rural area, an urban area, if you're a Democrat or a Republican, this issue matters to all of us. So Thursday, we're going to have a lunch session hosted by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation featuring former University of Michigan alum and Washington Post Pulitzer Prize winner Eugene Robinson talking about national issues in urban areas. Later on Thursday, we're going to have a town hall session led by our friends Devin Skillion and Nolan Finley, who are going to continue a conversation that was started at the Detroit Policy Conference back in February, which is going to be interactive, examining how economic opportunity is reaching or perhaps not reaching certain segments of our population. And then on Friday morning, our own Pulitzer Prize winner, Stephen Henderson of the Detroit Free Press, will lead a session, Race, Opportunity, and the Art of Cohesion. So no matter what your perspective is on these urban issues, there will be a voice on this stage at some point during this conference that's going to hit on the important issues of race and economic opportunity and what it means to economic growth in the state of Michigan. So turning from that serious subject to a fun topic, I just want to do a shout out to our friends at Skidmore Studios who helped us create this cover for the Detroiter magazine that you have on your seats. Yeah, that's worth applause. Now, the reason I bring this up is because, one, Tim Smith at Skidmore Studios is a great friend, one of our board members, and we're so proud to partner with them for the third time now to create a really wonderful cover. But it's really important for what this cover says. If you notice that it's a Lego theme. And what are Legos all about? Well, first of all, the movie was Everything is Awesome, right? And we think right now there's a lot of awesome things happening in Michigan. But Legos are about building and connecting. And that's what we're doing in Michigan, and that's what we're doing at this conference. And we're really excited about this cover, because building and connecting is really the theme of this year's conference. We've made amazing progress in this state over the last handful of years. Think about what's happened in the last 5 years. We've gone from being one of the worst states in the nation to do business to one of the best. We've now have reached the national average for unemployment. When's the last time that happened in the state of Michigan? Our private sector job growth is leading the nation, and our economic growth is one of the tops in the nation. Young people are moving back into our cities, and actually people are moving back into the state of Michigan. All of these things are incredible, groundbreaking things that we really couldn't have even imagined 7 years ago, but they're reality today. So the theme of this conference is how do we build on that success? And how do we not rest on our laurels, even though we have some pretty damn good laurels right now? So that's enough for me right now. I want to thank you again all for being here. Now it's my pleasure to turn the stage over to my friend, the chair of this conference, the person who's given this conference passion and vision, Mark Davidoff, the managing director of Michigan LLP for Deloitte.